The colors you avoid like the plague usually carry emotional weight. Maybe you never felt safe, so you reject orange. Maybe softness was punished, so pink makes you cringe. Maybe red makes you feel too visible, and you've spent your whole life trying to disappear. These aren't just colors, they're confessions. The question is, what's your color trying to tell you? This truth might sting, but a lot of us really have programmed taste. We were taught what's too loud, too feminine, too much. We internalized that beige was safe, that black was slimming, that bright colors were childish or unprofessional. And when you think about it, who does that narrative benefit? Not you. Let's go deeper. What if your most hated color is just the part of you you've rejected? In a world that's constantly watching, judging, and projecting, style becomes armor. We learn early on what colors blend in, what colors help us shrink, what colors won't draw attention, because attention doesn't always feel like love. Sometimes it feels like danger. So we reach for black because it hides everything. We reach for beige because it's neutral, non-committal, unthreatening. If your wardrobe feels lifeless lately, you might be dressing for protection rather than expression. And admittedly, neutrals are easy. They reduce the need to think or guess what works because they're so interchangeable. This isn't a hate video about neutrals. But what if I told you the colors you avoid are often the ones that hold the most truth about you? Let's talk about the colors you hate, because that hatred and resistance is trying to tell you something. Hate orange? Maybe joy was never safe for you. Maybe loudness was punished. Maybe you learned to fear attention that wasn't on their terms. You muted your own spark because brightness felt dangerous. Hate pink? Maybe softness was shamed. Maybe you were told being feminine meant being weak. Maybe you associate pink with being underestimated, so you reject it before it rejects you. Hate navy or deep blue? Maybe structure, rules, or authority figures were suffocating. You don't trust the systems blue represents: school, tradition, and control. And now even wearing it feels like submission. Hate red? Maybe passion was punished. Maybe anger was unsafe. Maybe sexuality was weaponized against you, so you learned to shrink it, bury it, or mock it before it could be used against you. Hate green? Maybe you don't trust growth. Maybe stability always got pulled out from under you. Green represents life, but life never felt steady. So you gravitate towards what feels certain, even if it's stagnant. Hate yellow? Maybe optimism makes you uncomfortable. Maybe you were taught not to get your hopes up. Maybe light felt naive, so you reject cheer before it can disappoint you. Hate black? Maybe you fear depth. Maybe you fear mystery. Maybe you associate darkness with depression or secrecy, and that scares you. So you wear lightness obsessively, but struggle to sit in your own shadows. Hate white? Maybe you fear being seen as pure or good. Maybe perfection was expected of you and you couldn't keep up. Maybe blankness feels vulnerable. White doesn't hide imperfections, and maybe that terrifies you. Hate purple? Maybe you don't trust your own intuition. Maybe spirituality, imagination, or creativity weren't nurtured. Purple is regal, eccentric, wise. It dares to be too much. And if you're told to tone it down, you learn to flinch at that kind of power. Hate brown? Maybe groundedness feels boring. Maybe earthiness reminds you of things you were taught to leave behind. But brown is stability, roots, reliability. And if you've never had those things, wearing them might feel like a lie. Color aversion is shadow work in disguise. And this isn't about forcing yourself into colors you hate. It's about asking why they bother you so much. Because sometimes the color you avoid the most is the one that's trying to bring you back to yourself. And if you're brave enough to follow the colors that hold emotional truths, you'll find freedom you didn't even know you needed. So here's your invitation to reclaim that color. Number 1, Name the color you hate. Feel free to comment it below. This is a safe space, don't worry. The girls here are lovely. Then ask yourself, who or what taught you to fear that energy? Number 2, try wearing it in a small, intimate way first, like undies, an eyeliner, or an accessory like earrings. See how you feel in it, not how you look. Next, give it a new story. If orange used to mean chaos, now let it mean joy. If pink used to mean weakness, now let it mean power with grace. And finally, design your palette like it's a healing ritual. Not just what flatters your undertone, what feeds your spirit. That's what this is all about. We don't do rules here. We're exploring and redefining narratives, because that's the color that might hold your next layer of healing. Comment below, what's the one color you've never worn? For me, I've worn all colors. In fact, I used to have so much fun with color, but in my latter 20s, my preference for neutrals became a trauma response. I didn't want to attract more attention. I get enough as is. Seriously, it's a whole task going outside just to get groceries sometimes. However, I'm challenging myself to have a bit more fun with color. So my 2 favorite colors are pink and green in all shades. So those are my main 2 signature palette colors I go crazy with. I also believe there's a certain boldness to black and white, so that's also a favorite. Red is a color I should go for more often because it looks so good on my skin, but I am a survivor, so that one can be a little challenging still. I have neutral undertones, maybe slightly more cool, so that's something I keep in the back of my mind, but I'm still gonna wear what lights me up. And I invite you to do the same within your own boundaries and comfort. Don't go down that color analysis rabbit hole. It's limiting and confusing. This work is way more satisfying. Anyways, if this stirred something in you, good. That's where it starts. Style is self-discovery. It's shadow work. And yes, it's fun, but it's also forgiveness. I made a quiz that will help you name the energy behind your style. The parts of you that want to be seen, honored, and expressed. When you're ready, she's waiting. I also invite you to stick around and subscribe. Our little tribe is a breath of fresh air. We're always exploring the intersection of fashion, identity, and self-concept. Take care, I love you, and I'll see you cutie pies in the next one. Bye!